4 medical students sign up for an experiment to earn money, but it's not as easy as they thought, and now their lives are at stake. That's why today I dream of death. Here we meet Jane, a student who has trouble sleeping, as she has an obsessive-compulsive disorder that makes her check the locks of the house over and over again. She also has a routine where she studies until 2 in the morning or goes to the supermarket at 3. Because of this, she signed up for an interview with Professor Nigcha, who talked about insomnia in her class. Nigcha says that the effects of lack of sleep are many and very common, but in the most extreme cases, people suffer hallucinations that can cause serious problems. Next, Jane prepares for another day of classes. But this time she is going to inform her professor that she will have to stop studying medicine because she can't afford college. There, Nietzsche tries to change her mind and recommends her to sign up for a study at a German pharmaceutical company where they pay a lot of money. Jane accepts the proposal and visits Deep to learn about the project and mainly to find out her pay. They initially inform her about the 3-level program designed to keep her awake for several days, allowing her body to produce serotonin. When the explanatory video ends, a man comes in who finishes explaining the importance of serotonin. He informs her that if she chooses to take part in the study, she must keep it confidential. She agrees once she realizes she can earn a lot of money easily. Afterwards, she follows the man to a different room where he implants a microchip in her neck and provides her with a watch displaying her serotonin levels. And he also tells her that as soon as she gets there, she has to come back to have the chip removed. As she prepares to leave, the man mentions a small detail he had forgotten to tell her. And it turns out that if she sleeps for 60 seconds, the chip will cause her heart to stop. He assures her not to worry, as the clock he provided will wake her before the time elapses. She returns home and begins her first sleepless day. Clearly, being the first night, it's quite easy, as she is already used to not sleeping for at least 3 days. She follows her usual routine and begins studying. However, when she checks on her grandmother, she discovers the old woman lying on the floor. Despite her worries, it turns out Sol was searching for something under the bed. After helping her and talking to her for a while, she sees her sister getting into a stranger's car. When Jane tries to ask her companion's identity, an argument ensues, and she accidentally breaks her phone. On her second day at university, a party-loving guy named Wing approaches her in the dining hall. And he approached her because he is also participating in the experiment. There he reveals to her that other students also have Deep's watch, so they are not alone. Singh, an influencer, was pressured by his family to pursue medicine, causing him stress and sleep problems. Lastly, there's Peach, a gamer who, as per Wing, follows the influencer everywhere. They gather at the same table, and only Peach seems afraid of their potential demise. Jane calms him down, and Gwen suggests they help each other reach 100% serotonin by exchanging contacts. This allows them to earn their first paycheck and purchase the luxuries they desire. To celebrate their achievement, they have a meeting, but Sin tells them that since she's been in the experiment, she feels like someone is following her. Jane changes the subject, asking if they will sign up for level 2. Clearly, for everyone, the experiment is a way to get easy money, so they are excited to do the next level. In addition, if they keep helping each other, they believe it's going to be very easy. The friends joyfully toast to their friendship. However, Jane leaves to maintain her routine, and the others eventually follow suit. Jane chooses to buy her sister a phone to repair their relationship and apologize for breaking the last one. Wing also has family problems, not getting along well with his father. Afterward, the group returns to Deep to learn about level 2. There, the man informs them they must stay awake for 5 days for this level, but will receive 5 times their previous pay in return. And at first, the guys hesitate to sign up, but the money ends up convincing them. Things go smoothly until day 3 when complications arise. Peach briefly falls asleep. Gwen hallucinates about a teammate insulting his mother, who died by suicide. However, Jane has some minor complications that don't appear to be serious. In one of her classes, she hallucinates and sees her deceased grandmother. Everyone gets back together because, apparently, they are fed up with the experiment, but they can't stop it. Jane discovers Gwen has the highest serotonin level, so they allow him to lead the group to boost everyone's serotonin. So he prepares a party at Peach's house. Everyone is having fun and the plan seems to be working. That's why Jane asks her sister to take care of their grandmother at night, so she can stay there. The party goes on until everyone gets tired and sits around chatting. There, Gwen asks her about her parents, but she starts to recall a news story where a couple was murdered. But immediately Gwen pulls her out of her thoughts and they continue talking normally. There, he tells her that his mom died, but he doesn't want it to be a big deal. So they move on to the next plan. Wing mixes some dubious pills with cocktails. He promises them that drinking it will keep them from ever falling asleep. Initially, Young hesitates. As the top student, she knows it's unwise to do that. but she ends up accepting when she sees Wing taking them. After some time, the effects kick in. They continue having fun while attempting to dance. At one point, Jane kisses Win, although after that she can't remember anything and everything seems to work perfectly. But at one point, Simba goes to the bathroom and accidentally he enters Peach's room, where he finds a lot of merchandise and photographs of her. He realizes that he has been following her all along, and from the shock he ends up fainting, but luckily Peach finds him and the others appear behind him. The problem is that they can't wake her up and she's not breathing either. Time is running out. They try to resuscitate her, but it seems like nothing works, although at the last second they manage to wake her up. But it seems like that was too much for them, because they don't accept level 3, and they end it once and for all. Life returns to normal, but when Peach tries to apologize to Sin, she realizes he's a psychopath and wants him gone from her life. So she rejects his offer to remain friends. Win confesses his love to Jane, but she rejects him, wanting to focus on her family. Due to Deep, her grades have declined, and she must focus on studying now more than ever. The problem is that the next day, when our protagonist was arriving at the university, she sees a crowd around an ambulance. A student dies, and as she approaches the body, she notices Deep's watch on the deceased's wrist. To worsen matters, that same night, when Jane visits her grandmother as usual, she doesn't respond, requiring hospitalization. There they tell her that she has a disease and they have to operate on her immediately, but since they no longer have money, they are going to have to skip the surgery. But her sister had an envelope full of money in her bag. As it turns out, she also participated in Deep there. John warns his sister of the danger and advises against repeating it, but she angrily leaves. She's not the only one with problems, because Gwen had an argument with her father, because according to her, if her father hadn't been such a coward, her mother would still be alive. After that, we see Jane return to her house to see if June is there. But since she can't find her anywhere, she goes to Deep's lab, and indeed her sister was there. But she arrived too late because they had already put a new chip in her. The man says he'll only remove the chip from her sister if she and her friends complete level 3. It's not personal. Jane asks her group for help, but Peach doesn't want to risk her life, and Sin thinks it's not fair for everyone to risk themselves to save her sister. Despite not agreeing with risking his life, Gwyn immediately tells her that he owes his life to Jane and decides to help her anyway. The sisters visit their grandmother in the hospital, where the younger sister apologizes for her thoughtless actions. But Jane knows that without the money she won at Deep, her grandmother would still be sick. On the other hand, Peach and Sing realize that their new friends were worth the short week they spent together, to the point of risking their lives. That's why the next day, when Jane and Gwyn were in the lab, they go to help them. To overcome the third level, they devise a plan and need the help of the teacher. She will be in charge of injecting them with a drug that keeps them awake and energetic, in addition to letting them stay in their father's old laboratory. The first and second day go by normally. Everyone continues doing the things they usually do, but starting from the third night, it becomes more difficult to stay awake. Peach starts having hallucinations, hearing gunshot noises from the video game. He watches himself go to the terrace and jump. As this happens, he notices pimples suddenly appearing on his skin. Jane hears the news about her parents' murder again and sees her dead sister on the floor. With Jane's sister's help, everyone escapes their illusions, but Sin still thinks his face is disfigured and wants to leave. Gwyn stops him, but it's no use, and she tells him it's his fault that he's like this, because he keeps doing what Jane says, but she's never going to want him. This makes him angry, to the point that he starts insulting her, but not only her, but also Peach, who tries to calm him down to maintain the friendship. But then they start to fight. Unsure of what to do, Jane decides to call her teacher on the communicator. The problem is that she doesn't answer, so she has to go out and look for her. Upon leaving, she discovers a room revealing that she had cameras monitoring them constantly and possessed all the organization's documents. Deep, and she had even hired an actor to be the visible face of everything. Additionally, she recommended that they be noticed. And at that moment, Nietzsche appears, but Jane runs away. She returns to the room with everyone else and warns them that the teacher was always behind this. They try to call the police but have no signal. When they attempt to leave, the door won't open. They spend a week locked up, and Sin breaks all the security cameras. Wing falls asleep first. After a minute, the teacher opens the doors, removes his body, and takes out the chip. While she was distracted by storing the microchip, Win stood up and hit her, revealing it was all a trap. At that moment, the other boys arrive, and they explain that they found a drug with which they faked a cardiac arrest. The boys question her motives, and the teacher reveals that behind a curtain lies the love of her life. A man experimented with prolonged insomnia on himself, which led to hallucinations that caused him to jump off a building. It didn't kill him but left him comatose. She found that giving him serotonin could bring him back to her life. But they needed several humans because she alone was not enough. At one point, they corner her, but make the mistake of revealing their plans aloud. We need to call the police. This gives the teacher time to grab a syringe and inject a substance into Jane, which kills her. Luckily for her, everyone there are medical students and they are in a hospital with everything necessary to revive her. Still, none of that works, and what does revive her is a blow to the chest from her sister. After that, they arrest the teacher and remove the chip from all the students who had agreed to participate in the experiment. Moreover, that experience helped everyone to fully enjoy their life. Sid quit medicine to pursue his passion. Gwyn made peace with her father and the sisters reconciled. It seems that Jane and Gwyn are getting close, but they ultimately maintain their friendship and know that is the most important thing. That was Deadly Dream. Don't forget to give it a like, comment on what other movies you want to see on the channel, subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos.